I, 32 male, am an architect. My entire job is about making sure things don't fall down. I build solid foundations. I check load-bearing walls. I make sure everything is built to last. I really thought my life was built the same way. Turns out, I was living in a house of cards, and the foundation was just sand. We'd been together for 3 years, planning the wedding for next fall. The engagement party was last Saturday. A big, fancy affair at a historic hotel, the one with the glass roof. 80 of our closest friends and family. My parents flew in. Her parents, well, they were beaming. In hindsight, I should have seen all the signs. My ex-fiancée was always obsessed with the optics of the wedding, not the marriage itself. Her mother was always right there, whispering in her ear, usually about how we should upgrade to champagne, or how my guest list was a bit heavy. I just wrote it off as pre-wedding stress. I was an idiot. The party was in full swing. The open bar I was paying for was a massive hit, especially with her. I was across the room talking to my uncle when I heard her laugh. That really loud, piercing laugh she gets after 3+ glasses of champagne. She was in a circle of her friends, holding up her hand, showing off the ring. I designed it myself. A 3-carat cushion cut on a platinum band. A total showstopper, just like she demanded. When her friends gushed, "You are the luckiest girl in the world. He's so good to you." And then my future wife, my fiancée, turned her friend, pointed a sloppy finger right at me, and said it, loud enough for the string quartet to seem to fade. "He's fine, I guess." But honestly, I only said yes because the ring was beautiful. I never wanted to marry you. The air just stopped. Everyone heard it. The music went quiet. I saw my mother's face just crumple. Her father froze mid-sip. My ex-fiancée just giggled, completely oblivious, swaying in her expensive dress. I didn't feel anger. I didn't yell. I just felt cold, clear, the entire chaotic structure of the last 6 months. The planning, the deposits, the arguments over napkin colors. It all just collapsed into a single quiet point. I knew exactly what to do. I walked over to her. The crowd just parted like the Red Sea. She looked up at me and smiled. "Hey, I was just telling them about this amazing ring." "I heard," I said. My voice was totally level. Thanks for the honesty. She was still smiling, but her eyes were confused. "What?" I didn't say another word. I just took her left hand. It was limp. I slid the ring right off her finger. It came off easily. Her face, the drunken fog just evaporated, replaced by pure, uncut horror. "Hey, what are you? Give that back." I held the ring up, looked at it, and then put it in my jacket pocket. I turned to the 80 stunned guests. "My sincerest apologies to everyone who traveled to be here," I said, my voice projecting through the room. "It appears there's been a significant change of plans. The engagement is off." I looked back at her. She looked like she'd been slapped. "But please," I continued, "enjoy the food. The bar is paid for. Have a wonderful night." I turned, walked past my shocked parents, walked past her fuming parents, and left the building. I didn't look back. I got in my car, drove home, double-locked the door, and turned off my phone. I turned my phone back on at 7 a.m. on Sunday. It was a biblical flood. 92 missed calls. Over 150 texts. Hers were a stream of pure, unfiltered panic, alternating with rage. "Where are you? You can't be serious. Come back, we need to talk. You embarrass me in front of everyone." Then, the messages from her mother. "You are an unstable child. You ruined my daughter's night. You give that ring back right now. It belongs to her. You will regret this for the rest of your life." I was sipping my second coffee when the hammering started on my apartment door. I mean hammering. I opened it. There she was, hungover. Mascara smeared down her chin, still wearing the same dress from last night. And right behind her, her mother, looking like she was ready to spit fire. "Get out of the way," her mother snapped, pushing past me into my foyer. My ex-fiancée just stumbled in, starting the waterworks. "Babe, I'm so sorry," she wailed. "I was so drunk. I didn't mean any of it." "You know I didn't mean it." "Which part?" I asked, closing the door, the part where you said yes to the ring, or the part where you never wanted to marry me. I was just joking. It was a joke. I was just talking to my friends. 80 people didn't laugh. I said, you weren't joking. You were just honest. Give my daughter the ring, her mother demanded, her arms crossed. This whole tantrum of yours is absurd. People get drunk. They say stupid things. You apologize, and we get back to planning the wedding. I actually laughed. There is no wedding. There is no we. The engagement is over. You can't do that, my ex-fiancée shrieked. I've already put down all the deposits. I'll be ruined. This is where I started to get angry. No, you haven't. I put down the deposits. On my credit card. Over $30,000 worth, actually, which I'm now out. Thanks to you. You're not out anything, her mom hissed. You'll just uncancel it. Now, the ring. Give it back. You can't just take it. That's theft. Actually, I said, my voice still quiet. In this state, an engagement ring is a conditional gift. The condition is the marriage. Last night, in front of 80 witnesses, she publicly stated the condition would never be met. The gift is revoked. The ring is mine. Legally. You can ask your lawyer. The color drained from her mother's face. The entitlement was fading, and the panic was setting in. You don't understand, her mother said, her voice dropping. We need this wedding to happen. It's important. I'm sure it is, I said. I looked at my ex. You have 24 hours to get your things. Your key. She just stared at me. Your key, I repeated. She fumbled in her clutch and threw it on the floor. Get out, I said. They just stood there, stunned. Get out. They left, her mother muttering about lawyers. I locked the deadbolt, immediately called my bank, and canceled the supplementary credit card she had. Then I called my lawyer, put him on retainer, and told him to expect incoming. The dirty trick started 2 days later. The entitlement went nuclear. She started a GoFundMe. My abusive fiancé dumped me at our party, stole my family heirloom ring, and left me with all the wedding bills. It had a picture of her, crying. She posted it everywhere. My phone blew up with texts from people I barely knew, calling me a monster. My lawyer sent a cease and desist, so fast it probably caught fire. He informed her that since I had the GIA certificate and the receipt, calling an heirloom was libel. And since I had 80 witnesses to her statement, her collecting money for wedding bills I had paid was fraud. The page came down, but not before she griffed about $2,000. Then she tried to get into my apartment. My doorman called me, said she was in the lobby with a locksmith, claiming she was locked out. I told him if she wasn't gone in 60 seconds, to call the cops for trespassing. She left. Then her father called. He'd always been the reasonable one, quiet, perpetually stressed, ran a small logistics and warehousing business. Son, he said, his voice gravelly, I think this has all gone too far. Your mother-in-law, she gets emotional. My daughter, she's a handful. But this is family. We're not family, I said. Not anymore. Let's not be hasty, he said. Look, she's a wreck. She made a mistake. But you're a good man. A good, stable man. She needs that. We, the family, we need that. Just meet with her. Talk it out. There's nothing to talk about. The engagement is over. There was a long pause. Son, he said, and his voice got desperate, I'm asking you, as a father, please reconsider. There are financial implications here. For everyone. That set off a huge alarm bell. Implications? The only implication I'm dealing with is the $30,000 I've lost in non-refundable deposits. I said, That's just money, he blurted out, sounding panicked. This is bigger than that. Just think about it. Think about what's best for the family. He hung up. I sat there, the phone in my hand. Implications. What had her mother said? We need this wedding to happen. I'm an architect. I don't just see buildings. I see systems. And this system was all wrong. I spent the next 2 days making calls. First, to every single vendor. I confirmed the $30,000 in deposits were lost. But while talking to the caterer, something clicked. Yes, Mr. My last name. The coordinator said, we have your initial $10,000 deposit, but we already refunded the $4,000 overpayment she called about. My blood went cold. What overpayment? Oh, your fiancée called about a month ago. She said you'd overpaid by $4,000 and needed the difference sent to her personal account for other wedding expenses. We sent the check. I called the florist, the venue, the band. It was a pattern. I had paid $30,000 in total deposits. She had systematically called them all afterward, claiming billing errors or overpayments, and had $15,000 sent back to her. She'd stolen half the money. This wasn't a breakup. This was felony theft. This was wire fraud. But her father's financial implications still bothered me. It felt bigger. I thought back. His warehouse. He was always complaining about his landlord. He joked with me months ago, when you're my son-in-law, you can get your fancy firm to find me a new spot, right? Family discount. My firm is one of the largest in the city. We don't just build. We handle massive commercial real estate portfolios, acquisitions, and redevelopments. I opened my work computer. On a hunch, I typed this company's address into our internal project database. And there it was. Project 44AB, the Logistics Corridor Redevelopment. My firm, on behalf of a major client, was in the final stages of acquiring the entire block his warehouse was on. The sale was closing in 30 days. And his lease? It was up for renewal. We were the new landlords. And the plan on my screen was very clear. Phase 1, demolition. His entire business was about to be evicted with 30 days' notice, and he knew it. They weren't just after my salary. They were trying to marry their way into my professional leverage to save their family business. The whole engagement, the fraud, it was all one big, desperate, entitled grift. I picked up the phone and called my lawyer. David, it's me. Change of plans. We're not just sending letters. We're setting a meeting, and I want to set a trap. The meeting was set for the following Tuesday at my lawyer's conference room. It was me and my lawyer, David, my ex-fiancée, and her new, terrified-looking lawyer. Her parents were waiting in the lobby. Her mother had tried to push her way in, but David's assistant, a terrifying woman named Marge, just stopped her. My client, her lawyer began, shuffling his papers, is here in good faith to resolve the misunderstanding regarding certain wedding-related funds. Misunderstanding, my lawyer, David, said with a smile. We call it wire fraud and theft by deception. But tomato, her lawyer's face went pale. Now, that's a strong accusation. David slid a 3-inch binder across the table. It's not an accusation. It's a spreadsheet. Dates, times, bank transfers, P.O. box numbers, call logs. It's a complete 30-page, print-and-go confession for the DA. You stole $15,000. My ex-fiancée looked like she was going to be sick. What do you want? She whispered. What we want, David said, is simple. My client is currently out $30,000 in total non-refundable deposits for a wedding you admitted, in front of 80 witnesses, you never intended to go through with. That's called fraudulent inducement. So, here's the deal, David continued. You are going to sign a structured settlement. You will pay my client back the full $30,000 you lost. The $15,000 you stole, we'll call it your first payment. You have 12 months to pay the remaining $15,000 with interest. I can't, she cried. I don't have that kind of money. Should have thought of that before you started your little side hustle, David said. And you will sign this. He slid a second document across. This is a non-disclosure agreement with a $250,000 penalty clause. You will never speak my client's name again, not online, not to friends, not anyone. You will also sign a full notarized release of any and all claims to the ring. This is extortion, her lawyer squeaked. This is a gift, David countered. Because if these papers aren't signed in the next 10 minutes, I'm not just sending this binder to the district attorney. My client is also going to make a phone call. My ex-fiancée looked at me. It was the first time I'd spoken. Your father, I said, my voice flat. I know about his lease. I know about Project 44AB. I know my firm is closing on his building in 30 days. She stopped breathing. I have a partners meeting tomorrow morning, I continued, to review the demolition and eviction timeline. As it stands, your father has 30 days to vacate. That's not enough time to save his business. It's a death sentence. You wouldn't, she stammered. If you sign these papers, I said, and you pay back every single cent you stole and lost, I will recuse myself from that meeting. I'll cite a conflict of interest. I won't help him, but I won't hurt him. Maybe the partners will grant a 60 or 90-day extension. It might give him a fighting chance. I leaned forward. But if you don't sign, if you try to fight this, I'm not only pressing charges for the $15,000. I am going to personally walk into that meeting tomorrow and present the most aggressive, fast-tracked, and brutally efficient demolition plan my firm has ever designed. I will have the bulldozers there in 29 days. I will make it my personal, professional mission to ensure your father's company is liquidated. There was a dead, long silence. She looked at her lawyer, who was staring at his shoes. She looked at me. The entitlement was gone. The arrogance was gone. All that was left was a hollowed-out look of someone who'd finally, run into a wall she couldn't charm, cry, or lie her way around. She signed. She signed everything. The aftermath was quiet. She paid. The payments came in every month on time. It took her the full 12 months, plus the interest. I heard she had to get 2 jobs, one of them bartending. Her mother was apparently furious, but what could she do? I did recuse myself. My partners were confused but respected it. They ended up giving her dad a 60-day extension. It didn't matter. His business was already too far in debt. He folded. They had to sell their house. I sold the ring. I put the money into a trust for my sister's kids. I'm still at my firm. My foundation is solid. It turns out the best way to deal with a structural weakness isn't to patch it up. It's to tear it down and rebuild it right.